According to Kessie, is better to Abraham.
My so can be cherry. Now, the movie fear idea. Ocean and that's one man then.
Proper counseling.
So, whom ye are. Whom ye. How do they ask?
Yeah, me soon catch him and say, as I bet me qualify.
But also be able to
A
difficult game, but as I qualify. Tactical man.
Yes.
Doesn't run away near Jew bosses.
Oh, many answers. Yes. Honestly, you say Flake a year Juma, and the Biameka say, coach or two no much a year Juma, befa a Juma will form to say Barcelona, yes, a Jumano. I would dream pens one day if you may name me, I had my Barca fans. Most of me are married, but for the first time, now me feel something bad for Hans.
How's the football in your fair?
Football in your fair. Football in your fair. And yes,
bro, I swear, I'll give you 5 shirts for saying Arsenal will win. Tell Abu to come to the winning team.
Offer me measurement in the brain.
Yeah.
Offer my dear brain and I'm
I don't know quite a good actually grew with
catch any so farm measurement in the man from Cotumide. My name is Shelly Bubia. Miss Reno. What's your Fabico Kakre and I am making Canada conformities in the dogs. A doors. As I Barcelona and Lusupe, then you are seeing More United for Caron. And I remember the phone in the charge.
Mother phone in Dimu.
Obviously, a similar name, Cotocole has phone not Kabubi. It's already Barcelona match. I might to Yanko. So, or stop over for the trouble winning. I think, say, Barca team up on Monday, but whatever be the case, say Flake into me and Kunimun to the finals of the Champions League this season. He has done very well. Baby, and Barca done. Any baby or before free, you're competing the Spanish La Liga, Copa del Rey, Supercopa Hispana. Or competing in all other competitions, it tells you say the side of Hans Flick has done very, very, very well for him. So, but just the fact said the first leg of course, it was a probably goal winning streak for both teams. I shared them more 3-3 in the first leg, and then Enra Bon also has also course. So it was, Giuseppe Meazza and so it was a proper goal winning streak for both football clubs. So Inter Milan winning 4 goals, and then the side of Barcelona scoring 3 goals to their credibility. It tells you say it was an all-rounder. Not most of these 2 football clubs were able to score a lot of goals for themselves. But so we'll check Eddie Lautaro Martinez before this particular game. He Okasai and Okase, this particular game will be a difficult game for Inter Milan and even for Barcelona, but or no as a football player or spending 2 nights out usum with them able to just ultimately kind of Inter Milan because he has been the captain for the side of Inter Milan for the past 4 years. So we see a kind Edema Inter Milan, and he has made sure say the last 2 years at Inter echo into the finals. And he was part of that particular squad. And coming back to back for Simeone Inzaghi, using him as a captain at the second leg, Giuseppe Meazza, ultimately a kind of the side of Inter Milan, or say Usun Yepa, 2 nights, Usun. It was his wife, encouraging to say, Sinetibi, and he can easily play. But so we're checking Inter Milan 2023, Inter Milan 2025. It is the still same team. The only difference, woman say you get Andre Onana or no any Mubium, Edinjeko Nimubium, and other players or money. But these 2 players, apart from these 2 players, though, they are the still same team. Obobo, Enra, Edema, the side of Inter and Simeone Inzaghi. They tell you, say, in terms of identity, they have that kind of identity. In terms of that same familiarity, in terms of possession of football, Simeone Inzaghi instilled that disciplinary approach into the Inter Milan team Obobo in the 2023 finals and meeting them in 2025 semi-finals. It tells you, say, Simeone Inzaghi, the moment Obetima progresses into the finals, he can easily win because these kind of players have attested the 2020 Pep Guardiola and meeting either Arsenal or PSG Football Club. I'm seeing Inter Milan winning this particular Champions League this season. Yes, they will win. But Enra, Enra near ball finance. Enra near ball finance. Finance in the Enra. Intervege DIABY. But anyway, the starting lineup near told you, I was easily amazed about the quiet fast where Simeone Inzaghi started this particular starting lineup for the side of Inter Milan. He was running the 3-5-2 system. Akacho said that is the still identity for Inter Milan as a football club, playing the 3-5-2 and making sure say Obebo that kind of typical Catenaccio system not at the amount. I will tell you the two differences between the Udinese Catenaccio and the Luciano Fledeletti. That kind of tactical system for Inter Milan. Simeone Inzaghi this season for the side of Inter Milan. But Echiro Honomono, Acerbi as a main sweeper, Bisek and then Bastoni were leading the defensive structure for Inter Milan. In Finfiono, Kanhoglu was the main deep line playmaker for the side of Inter Milan, and then Inter, and then Dumfries in the right wing back fullback for the side of Inter Milan. Di Marco was the left inverted fullback for the side of Inter Milan. It will a lot of compatibility in the midfield, and the two attackers will be Thuram and Lautaro Martinez will be on the other side of Inter Milan. But when you check about FC Barcelona, also starting lineup, typical 4-3-3 tactical system. So move possess it anymore. They play the 3-5-2 just like Obiti said Inter Milan, but just so me impress very well because of the kind of the counter-attacking system now Simeone Inzaghi was doing very well against the side of Barcelona in that particular moment. But Enra, a lot of tactical changes for the side of Simeone Inzaghi because it was quite different from the Bono Boy PSG because at Munjuek he was playing a typical 3-5-2 Catenaccio, pure tactical, Catenaccio Nobo, Edema Inter Milan. That was the Udinese Catenaccio. That was the main system of identity. Heleno Herrera instilled that kind of identity in so advance that kind of identity for the side of Inter Milan. I saw that particular kind of tactical system for the side of Inter Milan. But Enra, game now share against Inter and Barca, it wasn't the Udinese Catenaccio, but then it was the Luciano Fledeletti. That kind of tactical system available. Senegal use a lot of wing backs for Di Marco and Dumfries to make sure so create a lot of more offensive moments for either Inter Milan, making sure to pinning the opponent not have in their zone 14 spaces. I was seeing that Luciano Fledeletti tactical system for the side of Simeone Inzaghi using Inter Milan this tactical system. But so he will make sure so Bastoni will try to possess the ball into the left hand side of Inter or Mancasa opposing have making sure Di Marco will try to progress the ball adequately into the offensive halves of FC Barcelona Mancasa zone 14. But Hansi Flick making sure so person pressing in the wing backs of Inter Milan. Nipo Besha pressing very well Federico Di Marco Inter Milan. So where to say Eric Garcia trying to come into the distance marking zone to mark out Federico Di Marco in this particular picture. Somebody going in this particular second picture. Obito said Federico Di Marco and Yabon trying to possess the ball into the left wing forward of Inter Milan or Mancasa Beden, which made a lot of space from this particular wing back position to the advanced position of FC Barcelona, making sure that Eric Garcia will mark him out from this particular competition. But Bastoni will come in as an auxiliary wing back into the midfield just to support Obito said Federico Di Marco in the zone 14 of FC Barcelona. So switching their call into the third picture, you easily understand. Now, this is how our Inter Milan air press Barcelona in their own backyard. Barca open up wide in the 3-back system, making sure certainly will become a main sweeper in the zone 14, but then we'll try to make sure he will also start most of his passes for Eric Garcia. To translate a lot of passes into the attacking third. So Unya Jusconde in the first leg, share a lot of transition of passes. So Eric Garcia a lot of things. Lautaro Martinez will open up wide for Marco Thuram to also mark close to the other opponent of Barca on left flanks, and then Lautaro Martinez and then Henry Mkhitaryan will press Eric Garcia just for them to get the ball from Eric Garcia. So you get two people pressing Eric Garcia over here. Now, this is Alessandro Bastoni coming into the midfield to mark out Pedri in that particular midfield. It tells you they have something proper for themselves. And then Kanhoglu will also make sure in the distance marking, it will be solidified in the central midfield. And then even into the right midfield of the side of FC Barca, Nicolo Barella will also mark out the defender of FC Barcelona. It tells you it wasn't only pressing system, but then it was also a zonal marking system and an M-to-M pressing system for the side of Inter Milan and FC Barcelona in the central midfield, and they were able to do it very well. But in the midfield, if you want to dictate play in Barca, it will be a certain Pedri who will dictate the play for you. So for you to get out Oglo Betima making sure say Obetima making Pedri out of the ball in the central midfield. So see most of these transitional passes in the midfield to the attacking theater. It will enable the side of Inter Milan to become stable in the midfield and even into the defensive structure of Inter Milan or Wankasa opposing half. So this is Pedri trying to control the ball and look at the number of players that occupy the defensive structure of Inter Milan. Omankasa zone 14 opposing yard box, so close to about 6 players. But they also have additional 4 players in the central midfield trying to rank over in the creative midfield of FC Barca. And it tells you, say, they were able to do it. Even if, say, Perry Timi Rani Pase can Hogla. Look at the still number of players at Inter Milan, Omankasa back here. So it tells you, say, they were not playing the same ball but then they will stay comfortably at their zone 14 and try to press very well in the central midfield and cover a lot of opposing runs in the zone 14 of Inter Milan, and this was the counter-attacking system leading to the first, goal for the side of Inter Milan. It tells you, say, of Inter Milan. But in a big game, it's Marcoso, or Parc des Princes, Arsenal and then PSG Football Club. It will be a massive game for this particular two football because in the last games at the side of Paris Saint-Germain against English clubs, 31 games against English clubs, and then they've been able to score close to 27 goals last 2017 season and 2018 season for themselves. But then this season they've scored 31 goals for themselves only in the UEFA Champions League and other competitions or meeting against English clubs in this particular current Champions League. But then in the last 17 games against English clubs, they've been able to have close to about 7 winning streak for themselves and then 5 draws for themselves and 5 defeats per and a PSG Football Club and they are meeting against English Football Club 17 times this particular season. And then the 9 semi-finals will meet me take it on. It has been always been said the 2 finals and that's 1 final spell with Marco and they are in the UEFA Champions League in this particular season. But then Ousmane Dembele is the highest goal scorer in the UEFA Champions League, having 8 goals for this particular season for PSG in the shirt of PSG, and it tells you, say, he will be the man to watch playing against Arsenal and making sure, say, he will score a lot of goals against Arsenal Football Club. But in terms of semi-finals games for Mabono, the side the side of PSG Football Club has been able to meet Arsenal 6 times in that particular row. The first time meeting was against, the European Cup, Winners' Cup in the semi-final stage. I almost 1-1 in Parc des Princes. But when they came to London, they were able to beat the side of Arsenal Football Club by 1-0 in the 1994 season. Almost also Asia back in 2016, and they were able to make sure, say, they will play draw Parc des Princes and London, they will play 2-2 Ewa Honum. And then just last year, October, in the group stage league, shared the side of Arsenal Football Club by 2-0. And then even when it comes to the last game of ball, Emirates, they were able to score Arsenal by 2-0. But this is the tactical lineup, a bit messy from the 2 football clubs. You will get Paris Saint-Germain making sure they play the 4-3-3 system, and then the side of Arsenal Football Club will also play the 4-3-3 tactical system. Same tactical lineup you see in the last leg, it will be the same thing. But just the only difference between Arsenal and the PSG, will be Thomas Partey, who will become that particular midfield, a bit more busted, that kind of central midfield for the side of Arsenal Football Club. But the last time I saw a lot of things for the side of PSG Football Club, Luis Enrique. Because William Pachono as a main sweeper, and Makacho said, when it comes to generational passes, I'll beat me a lot of passes, just like William Saliba for Arsenal. William Pacho is a good passer of the ball. But then Luis Enrique making sure say Marquinhos no any good passer of the ball. So whenever be on attacking for Arsenal or Mancaso posting Arsenal, Marquinhos baby and Pacho will become a mean sweeper, and sometimes too he will also generate a lot of passes into the midfield zone of Arsenal Mancasa a zone yard. But then Nuno Mendes will be that orchestra. He is that kind of left full backer. He can easily create a lot of chances to attacking. He has close, long-range, accurate shots into the midfield of PSG Football Club this season. And we're making close to about of PSG in all other competitions this season for the side of PSG. So in terms of passing accuracy, Nuno Mendes will make sure so about that kind of long range passing at the amount. But then when you get for the side of PSG Football Club, the side of Arsenal will try to press very well, just like how they did to PSG Football Club, Emirates Sports Stadium last leg. They will try to press, and more press here. Martin Odegaard will be the first person to make trigger the press there, Arsenal. And then you get Obi and Mikel Merino, who will also support the side of Martin Odegaard as an auxiliary number 8 striker, trying to make sure so they cover up the shadow for Martin cutting Odegaard, and Bukayo Saka will try to also press Nuno Mendes for him to commit a mistake, for him to take the ball. But some don't in the second picture, boss. This Nuno Mendes, what I was talking about, exceptional nature of Nuno Mendes, that kind of long balls to the attacking to the lead here to the first goal in Emirates Sports Stadium. No, Nuno Mendes is that trigger long range passer. He can easily do that uncertainties for the side of PSG Football Club and Enyumre. And when you get that particular the midfield of Arsenal Football Club, numbers near saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 solid midfielders played in Honum. It tells you that Arsenal will dominate in the central midfield. Once PSG Football Club will try to penetrate, and Arsenal will try to open up wide for the side of PSG in the central midfield. But boss, the movement of Ousmane Dembele will still be needed. Because the PSG beats my Bibia, it will be the movement of Ousmane Dembele. Dembele tried to move into the midfield just to create and just to attract a lot of midfielders to his credibility. And I said he attracted a lot of defenders to his credibility. This is William Saliba. Will follow the side of Ousmane Dembele from the zone 14 of Onanga's opposing yard box into the central yard box. When it becomes like that, he can easily create a lot of long range passing a bit either to the left side, either to the left side. But so Dembele had this particular transitional movement. Share this particular picture also. When you see Dembele, design doing so a lot of rotational policy in the attacking front. So Dembele, he can easily create a lot of movement for the side of PSG Football Club and then Enyumre. But also to another picture, where's another movement from Ousmane Dembele, and then he can easily cause another tactical change for Luis Enrique. I'm tipping. Arsenal will score a goal, PSG will score, but it will be over 2.5. Arsenal will qualify.
Arsenal will qualify.
Oh, yes.
Why is you? Arsenal will qualify.
Minya dream nra. Arsenal will qualify. So last week, Mikacho said the only difference are a separate PSG and Arsenal was Thomas Partey. Partey is back. All those over in the weekends now. Partey money bona nkuyi and farmer Arsenal.
But still Arsenal.
Mazio, Mate, Mami Yara me kona me kudin komo. Ewo Dawood eba seta o maso ene said enema esiete Dawood Heba Hospital doka ba tie chemene be rama men kekan. Me ala aje yabo